Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and getting close to Halloween. My sister, who's my best friend, was born on Halloween, so it's always been a pretty special holiday for me and celebrating her and thinking of her. And Dr. Jennifer, who's with me today, she's in the second largest state of Texas behind Alaska, and she's all decked out for Halloween. So I just got to see her cool fancy pants. Will you be dressing up the rest of the week for Halloween?
Definitely this weekend. I'm gonna have a thing at my office on Saturday where people could stop by in their costumes and take pictures with me and all of that fun stuff. So I'll be in my costume on Saturday and probably on at least on Tuesday, if not on Monday as well. So I like to dress
Wow.
up.
And what are you this year for Halloween?
I'm gonna be Poison Ivy from Batman.
I don't know anything about poison ivy except that like it's itchy. There's a person called Poison Ivy?
Yeah, she's a villain from the DC comics. So
Oh, see, I don't even know about that. So let's jump in and talk about success not being a solitary journey and what have been the greatest benefits that you've enjoyed as a result of being in the boot camp?
I absolutely agree. Like you cannot do this alone. I had somebody message. I was talking to one of my friends in Dallas today, and she's just kind of feeling overwhelmed with everything and having kind of a little mental break, which we all kind of do every now and then. And I'm just like, hey, what's going on? And she kind of told me, and I'm like, girl, I've been there. It is not easy, especially having running a practice, doing everything by yourself and having littles too. Like it is not easy, and having people to rely on is a huge help. And that is one of the things that the boot camp does for people. It helps bring people together, gives them a sense of community, and makes it so that you're not on a deserted island all by yourself.
Yes. And and I think just like the safety in numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like I was on a coaching call with 2 private coaching clients, and we were talking about money subluxations. And there's something comforting behind knowing like, "Oh, I'm not the only one
Not the
who."
only one that's having these issues.
Like, crooked glasses issues is my issue. Can't stand this. So please don't look at my eyes with my crooked glasses. Um, yeah, that it's we're not alone.
We're not
And
alone.
let me ask you this, hey, there's Cindy, woo woo. What have you found about our community in the boot camp that's unique to the boot camp and different than other female chiropractic communities?
Yeah, because I've definitely been a part of other female chiropractic communities. Um, I love that one we give accountability to each other. Like we if we say we say we're going to do something, we follow up with it and we stay accountable and make sure that we're all participating however we need to participate in whatever's happening there, especially with these like boot camp sprints that we're doing, like having these teams to be like, hey, I did my stuff this week, we're gonna be in the lead for this week is great. So
Well, I don't know if you're going to be in the lead because Mama Boot Camp's team, I went through, I don't know if you saw, I posted in the boot camp how you can get 24,625 points a week.
whew,
Did you see that I
no, but I
posted?
need to go back and look at it apparently.
Susan Frayne got 20, so she got pretty close, but 20,000 points in a week is pretty awesome. And
That
which
is
team are
pretty
you on?
awesome. Huh?
Which team are you on?
I'm on autumn accelerators.
Is that Liz Hafer's team?
Yeah.
What are you on a different team every sprint? Do you try to like seek out different
So I've done
coaches?
2 with Tabor, and then I wanted to do somebody else this time, and so I was gonna do a different doc, but she had some issues and she couldn't do it this time around, so I'm on Liz's team this year, which I'm excited.
Oh, nice. Well, she's a great leader.
Yeah,
So
she is.
I
She's
know
fantastic.
you guys are getting some pretty awesome training in there. So we said we were going to talk about like your 3 most favorite benefits. So
Yes.
one, not a
Accountability is the biggest one. And then all the information that we get in the boot camp, like it is a plethora of information from the referral contacts to the RPGs, all of those kind of things are, it's so much information, so helpful. You have so many other chiropractors that practice similarly to you, so that you know exactly what's working and what's not working, and if you're having an issue with something, you can talk to somebody else about it. So those are the two biggest things, but then just also the camaraderie in the group. Like, not only are you having the accountability and the information, but how we cheer each other on. Like, we get a lot of that in other women groups, but there's just something extra level about the boot camp for sure.
That's one of my most favorite posts every month is Shauna's at the end of
Hey,
the month.
what were your wins this month? I love that.
Yeah.
Even if you felt like you've had a crappy month and you're like, hey, I did this good this month, then you're like, I'm doing something right.
I heard it said the other day that vision tells us where we're going. And it's really important to look back at our progress
Yes.
because our progress encourages us, right? And so I think a lot of times too, and I've said this forever, um, that our story and our lives can be the exact catalyst for somebody else's radical transformation. So, let's say I'm in Texas and I have a little child and man, I'm just not like things just aren't clicking for me. And then I look at Jennifer's life and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If she can do it, I can do it. Right? Because that's even how our neurology works. That's how the RAS works is that it makes our beliefs true. So
Yes.
when we surround ourselves with individuals who are leveling up in their lives, who are
It makes us only want to do better for ourselves and be on that level along with them. Go like, hey, if they're doing this, I can do it too. I'm not alone. I can do the hard things and I can make them work.
yeah. So let's talk about that. How does being in community make hard things easier?
So I hate the saying, how do you eat or how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I absolutely hate that saying. But the community makes it so you can take that elephant and actually break it down into a meal, and not just like you're eating that whole elephant by yourself, but you're eating a meal with your friends, with your community, and all together you're going to tackle that elephant.
Yeah. And I love the diversity within the boot camp because some may
Oh,
be like, I don't
yeah.
even want the elephant.
No,
Like, I know everyone else does this in practice. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do it. Like
Yeah.
I have known for years that I don't want an associate, and like that is something very strong for me. I do not want that. Other doctors want that in their practices. That is not something that I want, and but I'm not going to limit what you can do in your practice because that's not my belief. Yeah. I want to encourage you. I want to do the best that you possibly can, and however you're practicing.
Yes. And that's another thing I love about our tribe is
Mhm.
it's not cookie cutter.
It is
Like,
not cutter. Like there are so many different practices, so many different ways that people can practice chiropractic, and it doesn't have to be we're only doing it one way. I know there's tons of chiropractors in the boot camp that are like me, that are just a solo doc and that's all they ever want to do, nothing else. And then there's many docs that have, you know, even integrated practices or like multiple docs in one location or multiple locations, and we can all come together about chiropractic, which is fantastic, and build each other up.
yes. Yeah, I love that there isn't one way to do it.
No,
Yeah, that's
right or
encouraging.
wrong, it's just whatever works for you in your practice.
And how have you seen even that aspect really contribute to your success that there isn't one way, there's Jennifer's way for Jennifer?
It's made it easier to set my own boundaries, for one thing, with especially with my clients and with my community and stuff like that. Be like, nope, this is not what I do, but I can definitely refer you to somebody that does that and support somebody else that does that. But I want to be able to, this is what I want to be known for, and this is what I do. And being able to push that to somebody else that is not in my fit, that has helped me so much being able to say no, because I like to be a people pleaser and I like to say yes to things. And so being able to say no has given me so much strength.
And let's talk for a second about the mindset training in the boot camp.
Mhm.
What what is really sunk in for you? Because this leads it, right? Like you can have all the right systems, all the right marketing, but if this says you can't succeed, right? Just like atomic habits, right? Like identity based habits versus outcome based habits. What are you learning right now about mindset in yourself in this sprint?
To have an attitude of gratitude is the biggest thing. I love being able to think on the positive and not be down on myself, and because like I've had a slow week or things are going wrong or whatever is happening in my practice or in my life, I can be thankful for the things that have happened and be thankful for the things that will happen. And being on the positive is so much better for my self-esteem, so much better for my self-performance than
It's a song.
dwelling in the negative.
Well, and what's interesting about that is I think sometimes it's easy to take a bad day in the office and act as if it's permanent. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad life. It's not a terrible
And it
profession.
wasn't even a bad day, it was a bad 5 minutes, and
Yes.
you're making it a bad day because it was a bad 5 minutes and you dwelled on it the rest of the day.
Yeah. What's your secret about, like, kinda getting out of the funk?
Yeah. If I'm doing it, like, day by day, like, actually getting out and doing a walk is great. Doing some yoga helps me a lot. Spending time with my family and making sure I do, like, if I'm getting into, like, a long funk for some reason, like, just being like, "Hey," um, telling my husband, "We need to go do a date night," or, "We need to go do something fun."
That's what my husband always says, like, we both kinda have this thing of, "It's time to get to the cabin."
Mhm. We
We
need
need to
a little getaway time, yes.
yeah, unplug, reconnect, just like new perspective. And so I
Yes.
also just want to encourage anyone that's watching us to remember that. Like maybe it's even been a bad year. Maybe, your life has really just felt hard since COVID. Just please remember that no storm permanently damages the sky, that your last chapter of your life hasn't been written.
No.
And that like I have the pleasure of knowing most people's story that come into the boot camp because for those of you who don't know, you got to get through me and talk to me one on one before you join our tribe.
Very true.
So I'm almost at 900 one on one conversations in the last 6 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right? Yeah. So I would say to I have a pretty good pulse on what's happening with female chiropractors in our profession. And with that, I just want to encourage anyone that is feeling like you're in a slump or that things just can't get better. They won't if you keep doing the same thing. If
Yep,
you
gotta get
keep
out of your own way.
yeah, and if you keep ingesting the same people, the same environment, you're just going to keep getting the same results.
Then
So
your
that's
mindset doesn't change, your life doesn't change. Yes, absolutely. You got to get away from the negative, get away from the people that bring you down, the energy vampires, all of that kind of stuff, and build your life the way you want it. And build and surround yourself with a community like what we have, where they're going to build you up and work on bettering themselves and bettering you in the process.
yes. And Jennifer's friend, when you watch this, reach out to me. Like, let's talk and let's see what what can happen when you're in a better situation, a better environment. I mean, so I grew up on a farm, right? And it was really necessary. Like my dad could have the best seed on the planet. But if it doesn't have good ground, it doesn't have sunshine, it doesn't have water, it's not
It's not gonna
growing.
grow. Yeah.
And the same thing is true with human being, right? That we get planted and we need nourishment, and nourishment often comes from the people that we're around. And many times my experience is not that not that people really, if they would slow down and have a conversation, it's not that you don't like practice. It's like you don't like how you're doing it, which are two totally different
Totally
things.
different things, and you can always change how you are doing it. It's gonna take work, but you can always change how you're doing it.
Absolutely. So, as we wrap this up, what final words do you want to share with our audience today?
Mm. You are not alone. It does take a team to build success, and surrounding yourself with a great team, a great group of people, community that's going to build you up is going to do an incredible amount for you.
Yes. And you've tried it going alone. Now try it with a tribe. And I'm confident your experience will be way different. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining me. Have a very happy Halloween this weekend, celebrating with your practice members, and next week. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dr. Barb.
See you, everyone. Bye.